Greetings in the best of health. That would be prayer, power, peace, patience, and prosperity. I will be reading from a book called Overcoming the Mentally Enslaved, Caged, and Enraged. A personal quest of finding resolve and coming into complete civility. It is a book that I have put together. The purpose of this expression is see if I could take part in consuming that which I have written, and it meaning my own medicine, at a state of which I am in, which I am struggling, wanting to pull from what I have come to learn to know is that the issue is character resolved. When you come into complete civility, that is being a citizenry, overcoming being. It is said that, however true it is, we're human. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. And I realized, my brother Julian, that anything that remains in its natural form and natural state is spiritual. Spiritual beings having a human experience. Overcoming being and overcoming being. When it says mentally, I should say, it says enslaved, encaged, and enraged. It is the quest, a personal quest of mine, and finding resolve and coming into complete civility. And when I come into complete civility, citizenry, meaning I should be at peace. And when he or she is at peace, we are no threat to each other. Development of the intellect, for the betterment of humanity. I'm going to read chapter 7. How can I change my reality despite? Reality, that which is real. That which I am confronted with on a daily basis. How do I change? Or what brings about constant change? I realize that change is a product of human effort. And effort must be synthesized into a useful purpose. Finding meaning in life. Have you learned? My conscience may be talking to me through this book. Have you learned that change is a product of human effort, as it may be talking to you? And the first step toward change is awareness. For me, awareness is the beginning of time. Anything that unites us is time. It was taught and shared that nature comes to awaken our consciousness. The result is something that we should be aware of. The effort must be synthesized for a useful purpose, which is to readdress social diversity, moving from a persecuted minority to a privileged majority, from victim to victory, or being victorious, etc. Building on my tolerance, capacity training. Level, meaning my approach to this is universal. How do I change? I approach change from a universal point of view, because we are all universal people. Universal people. What is required and demanded is that I can personally subscribe to myself the removal of ignorance, indignancy, indecency, fear, failure, folly, foolishness, frustration, chaos, confusion, and doubt. In any situation I find myself in, I can handle it. You can handle it. Get a handle on it. Get a grip on it. It is said and known that reason is the first faculty of humans. An inherent mental or physical power based on an ontological affirmation and affirms who I am and what can be accomplished. To have a weak intellect is due to the power of one's inability to reason. So in turn, one's reasoning power is underdeveloped, which makes a person behave in an immature manner. So what needs to be replenished is the social continuity of one's power to reason. Man have lost confidence in the power of reason. So I do my best and to learn how to reason. Reason with progression. Reason from the premise of conversation. For there are two struggles for me: common sense versus nonsense, and regression versus progression. To reason, you must learn how to reason with each other. This takes confidence. And the approach to this is comprehensive. Comprehensive. Notice I had two approaches. One was universal and the other was comprehensive. The universal approach is to readdress social diversity. The comprehensive approach is to replenish that which has been depleted. Is the social continuity of my confidence or each other's confidence as humans and cooperating with each other. This is a call for development of the intellect and for betterment of humanity. Now, how do I heal myself from the prevailing thought pattern of fatalism? Fatalism comes about through false hope. It creates fatalities, fraudulent behavior. History tells us that thought pattern in American society is based on race, and the laws and the codes of media and press help to shape the prevailing thought pattern with a grand narrative. As I become awakened to the plot, plan, and the scheme to the prevailing thought pattern, how do I change it, readdress it, and find a cure to heal from it? Because it is in the atmosphere, the prevailing thought of fatalism, poverty, militarism, sexism, classism, fascism, and what it is said that tyranny is worse than slaughter. By saying that we are and I am dealing with the behavior of a tyrant. Try not to imitate a tyrant. A tyrant is cruel. Cruelty. One that willfully causes pain or suffering to others. May we learn not to cause pain and suffering to ourselves, and has no feeling or concern about it. He or she has depersonalized himself from it and detached himself from it, from the pain and suffering that he or she may has caused on others. Personally, if my esteem is low, if your esteem is low, and my intellect is weak, and your intellect is weak, do we or do I heal myself? And where do I find a cure? Who and what can I depend on? Something or someone outside of myself, or that which is inside of me? I know the answer is in me, but the excuse and the reality of it all is my esteem is low and my intellect is weak. Esteem in a Latin sense is an estimation. Count the cost. There must be sacrifices that must be made. And I'm talking about whatever we do in life, there is a sacrifice for the development of the intellect, for a better humanity. That's a spiritual truth. I am living in an atmosphere of fatalism, racism, where ignorance, indignancy, indecency, fear, failure, folly, foolishness, frustration, doubt, crime, corruption, chaos, confusion, evil, and wickedness. We're seem fairly good. How can you or how can I be fair with one another, and even with ourselves as an individual, when it seems to be that everybody else is cheating? meaning we must, and I must learn not to sell myself cheap or short. That is what you call falsehood. What are my intentions? Not to hurt, harm, or endanger anyone. What are your intentions? Is the motive behind it all? What is the motive behind it all? The only motive is for healing. Compassion is the antidote, and the motive behind my intentions. By liberating myself and helping myself by being around an atmosphere. By being around an atmosphere. And surrounding myself with people that understand the importance of awakening each other's compassion. It is nurturing to do so. It builds each other up, and it is encouraging comfortably. It is encouraging, comforting, and healing. The desire or quest of mine is to first heal and liberate myself from the suffering, from the prevailing attitude, from the resignation of fatalism, poverty, militarism, sexism, classism, fascism, racism, to liberate and heal others as well. I know some may be practical and realistic, or there is no hope. There is nothing new under the sun. We all need a morale booster to restart the reawakening of the strength called compassion. I repeat, we all need a morale booster to restart and the reawakening of the strength called compassion, to gain the momentum that will inspire, that will motivate and inspire those we come in contact with, person to person, place to place, furthering the reawakening of the compassion that will eradicate and eliminate once and for all the prevailing thought pattern of fatalism, poverty, militarism, sexism, fascism, racism, and war. The impact and effect of the civil or uncivil interactions of people, wherever your ethnicity may be, then and now, and how they were, and how and what has become of them, either civil or uncivil interactions. The social, economic, cultural code of conduct is the foundation for our orientation, and we will not compromise our spiritual integrity nor jeopardize the social solidarity of the group. Our environment is safe and trusting, as well as becoming a being that is psychologically and physiologically centered, wherein it conducts and instructs a reordering of reconnection and realignment with self, in association with the 7 principles of the Nuga Sava, first fruits, Umoja, unity. We seek to strive and maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race. Kuji Chakalia, self-determination. We seek to define ourselves. create for ourselves and speak for ourselves. Ujima, collective work and responsibility. We seek to build and maintain our community together and make our brothers and sisters' problems our problem is to solve them together. Cooperative economics. We seek to build and maintain our stores, shops, and other business and to profit from them together. Near purpose. We seek to make our collective vocation the building and development of our community and to restore our people to their traditional greatness. Kuambi. Kuamba. We seek to always, as much as we can, in the way that we can, to leave our community, to leave our relationships more beautiful, beneficial than we inherited. Imani faith, we seek to believe with all our hearts in our people and our parents, our teachers, our leaders, in the righteousness and victory of our struggle. The results in further establishing a safe, trusting environment, and further establishing and overcoming of negative perceptions and unhealthy perspectives, and further establishing non-judgmental reports by reframing from unnecessary criticism, operating in total compliance with the Nuga Saba, and further establishing positive reinforcers as building blocks, and further establishing sharing our common experiences, and further establishing unhealthy and productive conversations about your objectives, our objectives, your goals, your dreams, aspirations, views, values, virtues, vices, and accomplishments, and further establishing honesty by being honest about our challenges, and further establishing provisions for concrete solutions, and further establishing with good intentions to get to know ourselves in those intentions at another level. To seal our thoughts in this wise from the 10 principles of Dejahuti. This is the seal. The control of thought. When you control your thoughts, the stuff you used to do doesn't interest you anymore. Who can crack this seal? When you control your actions, you don't allow others' opinions to validate who you are. As a person, you must become comfortable in your skin. You will make those decisions and have no problem with telling others what you will not do, especially if it is not on the level of your spiritual walk or linked back to compliance with the Nuga Saba, the Guzu Saba. Steadfast or purpose, which is equivalent to fortitude, which shows that you have what it takes to endure through painful conditions, because you know at the end of the day you are in tune with the creative force of cosmic energy, and the creative force is success, and you and I are evidence of that success. If you are a good leader, see that the plans you make are carried out. Advocacy materializes. Do great things which will be remembered long after you or I have transitioned. Leadership is coordination for me. Identity, or identify with spiritual life, or identity is spiritual life. Anything that remains in its natural form or natural state is spiritual. The natural identity is affection. The attribute was or is equated with temperance or self-control. This is represented by the individual when he or she shows conquests over their negative or unhealthy mental attitude. Evidence of having a mission in life that will ensure the policy of cooperation, confidence, competence, honesty, and trust, and policy and principle is driven by interests. Evidence of a call to spiritual order or the priesthood and the brotherhood or the sisterhood, the two in it all is to have prudence, to be cautious, courteous, respectful, and vigilant. Deep insight into the brilliance of our greatness. To be serious in manner that befits or befitted the faculty of seership. The primary call and principle is freedom, justice, and equality. From the least contaminated with corruption, become less contaminated with corruption. In doing so, give a message and display the integrity, honor, dignity, confidence, and respect. Freedom from resentment. When under the experience of persecution and wrong, this was and is known as courage. We know that we have been doing wrong by powers, been done wrong by powers that but we must also realize that there are a greater power than ourselves. No need to participate and play a part in your own, in each other's own oppression. If not, an oppressor will not exist. Resentment to breed on consistent basis will lead to death. So control your anger by starving your distractions and feeding your focus. Control your anger by starving your distractions and feeding your focus. Confidence is the power of the master teacher. Confidence in one's ability to learn. We must have trust in our teachers, and we equally must be confident that we can learn in that process. Fidelity, devotion, and loyalty. Readiness or preparedness for initiation. We want to prepare the ground. That's what we want to do. And overcoming being mentally enslaved and caged and enraged, a personal quest of finding resolve into complete civility. It is a readiness or a preparation for initiation. It is to prepare the ground in the atmosphere, to put into motion the business at hand, cultivating, molding, and shaping. We must be ready for the initiation. Frederick Douglass says it is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. This has always been the principle in connection with. A cultivation system. When we do not adhere to the foundation of this, or our, you put a H before the O, it would be an hour. An hour from now, we'll be at another hour. But I'm saying, O-U, our, collectively, our, collective. Cultural code of conduct. You are out, or I am out of what? Of order. And non-compliant, which is grounds for reprimand by the elders' council. The continue of this behavior will be dismissal. When the pupil is ready, then the teacher will appear. Dismissal, leave of absence, or the act of creating something or even someone unworthy of serious consideration, of being valued as a human being. Rejection. Chapter 7. How can I change? How can you change? How can we change? Without being spiteful about it. Reverend Walamu Kevin, teachers of teachers, preachers of preachers. And it comes to reverence from the heart. Similar the language of knowledge and peace. As we live in a world oppressive environment, shared with me by Imam Muhammad Muhammad. Maybe overcome the deficit perspective, which was shared with me by Dr. Dennis Assad Winkler. And as I always say, we need to learn the reason with progression. Because there's two struggles. Common sense versus nonsense, and regresses versus progression. I mean, we come into the spirit of those who came to restore the dignity of a people, however far back it was, and lay hold to the truth. The father of sociology, Dr. W.E.D. Du Bois, and becoming a independent intelligentsia. Until next time, talk to you.